it is a matter of simply looking at all of the actions within the workers' Bill of Rights and look and comparing that to the totality of what we are hoping to work on for next year. So I guess I'll just start with this conversation around capacity for staff and going into the work plan for next year. And that concern is valid and is very real. But let's not pretend that we wouldn't be having this conversation anyway, despite this coming forward. We were going to be having that conversation anyway about capacity and what the work plan looks like and whether or not um, we move forward with certain projects and assignments for next year, and whether they could be put off into the following year and that sort of thing. So in that sense, I see this as no different. It's just another item on the list to a conversation we were already going to have at the retreat this year. And I think that it is a matter of simply looking at all of the actions within the workers' Bill of Rights and look and comparing that to the totality of what we are hoping to work on for next year. And really taking a look at that and saying, well, what's doable? And I think that's an important conversation to have. And the reason I think we should start there is because of the fact that we have had community members, business owners, we've had nonprofit organizations, workers, union representatives come into the chambers and ask us to act. And as far as I'm concerned, we should be listening to all of those voices. And so we need to be taking that into account as we think about our work plan for next year. And so for me, you know, this connection to Olympia Strong, and while Olympia Strong doesn't necessarily mention minimum wage as an initiative that we would propose or that we would do, it does talk about a third of Olympians struggling. It does talk about wages and the high cost of living throughout the plan. And so this is uh, one of those, uh, and you could say that the list of initiatives under each of the four categories within Olympia Strong is not an exhaustive list. There are things that we could add to it in the future that we probably haven't even thought of yet. And so for me, I see this as no exception. I just understand that we're all frustrated with the process, and that includes myself in that. Very frustrated about it. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be listening to the voices that were in our chambers. And so that's how I feel about approaching this going into next year. And I really hope to continue to have a robust conversation about what a public engagement process will look like. But first, we need to understand what's the scope of work that we're going to do for 2025. And once we know that, then we can talk about an engagement process. And I think that is really sort of the order of things in that regard. So that's what I have to offer for now. And I see that Councilmember Gilman has joined us. Councilmember Gilman, can you hear us? Uh, okay. Um, Councilmember Gilman, can you hear us?
We will not give